Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello.
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 Welcome along. This is the future of entertainment for so many reasons, because the internet is so good and no one's allowed out. So your streaming comedy is right here is what it is. Myself and himself pointed the right way for once. Look at that. We do a little half-hour comedy show twice a week where we look at the problems in the news and we sort them out. Get yourself subscribed to the main YouTube channel. It means you can watch them all. You can watch past episodes. You can watch clips. You can also do some chit-chat there as well. It's a good place for it.
Yeah, nice chit.
Because we're live, you can get stuck in and do some chatting and be involved with the show. And we'll mention this through the show that if you enjoy it enough to be like, oh, you know what, I'll buy you a drink, or what's smaller than a drink. I'd buy you a bag of crisps. I'd buy those guys a Ritz cracker. Put those kind of levels of money in the Ko-fi thing would be very much appreciated. More on that still to come. But, I mean, Eric, it's over to you to solve the first problem, because problems.
Problems indeed, Steve. Yes, this is a problem of a day I will never forget. And I think everybody knows why. They know what I'm talking about. It's this. I never thought I would have, as Eric Trump said, 150,000 people sing me happy birthday on the National Mall. Yes, it was Eric Trump's birthday yesterday. That's a day I'll never forget. That's pretty much the biggest news that happened yesterday, isn't it, Steve? Yeah.
Well, I don't blame you for hiding from the news, but
I'll never forget it, because there weren't 150,000 people there. So even his son lies about his numbers for crowds on the mall. But yeah, Eric was excited about it. I'm excited about it because the 6th of January is the day that Donald Trump finally remembered his son's birthday. And he got him a great big birthday cake with lots of candles, which we can see right here. That's right. It was all for you, Eric. It was all for you. Just keep telling yourself that, and then remind yourself that Daddy doesn't know who you are.
Wow. Imagine trying to blow that out. Make a wish. Ooh.
Well, they tried to blow up something. Obviously, I'm talking about the siege of the U.S. Capitol. Probably one of the darkest days in American history in my lifetime. I told Steve I might be slightly sincere during this. It was awful yesterday. I've lived in the UK for 20 years. I've seen stuff happen in America that's bad. Like, I watched 9/11 from here. I've seen obviously this happen from here. I've seen the rise of the Kardashians from here. I've seen some dark days in the United States. Yesterday wasn't supposed to be like that. You know, I mean, there's always been like, oh, there's going to be riots if Trump loses, and he's going to, you know, he always is stirring people's talk up and everything else. But especially what the point of yesterday was one of the most boring days in the American governance. It's basically where nothing is decided. It's just kind of saying, yes, this is the result of the election. They brought together, because the people vote in November. They count the actual electoral votes in December. They're certified by the states at that time. They're done and dusted, and they just have time, because this was written in the time of horses and carriages, to ride the votes to the Capitol. And this is literally why they do it. And, you know, and then they open them up and they read them. They can't change them. They can't do anything else about them. It's just, usually this is how exciting that day is right here. You can be surrounded by lots of people and you could still fall asleep. It's usually boring as fuck. But yesterday, it was more like this.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see a little ice pour down the back, because that's what it felt like to be an American yesterday who's not a traitor. Just like, whoa, this shit is cold. You know, Trump's been building up his followers into a frenzy and lying to them, getting them to only listen to media that he believes to, you know, stirring up false claims about the election. And then he would say, because he said that they're false claims, then people will go, oh, have you heard about the false claims? Like, yeah, because you fucking made them up. Now, it's easy to laugh at this when it happens, because you looked at, I mean, if you look, because it's America, and look at some of the people that were in the Capitol yesterday.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
That's not someone you can generally take seriously, is it? I mean, I can admire his six-pack, but I mean, it's just the stupid hick American dipshits that have been listening to him and not paying any attention to the fact that he's clearly lying to them and he doesn't care about you. But there were serious moments yesterday, like when you see this happening in the capital of the United States of America.
Ooh.
That's the Confederate flag.
Dukes
This isn't
of
somebody
Hazzard.
that's just a big fan of Dukes of Hazzard. You mentioned that's not what that represents. You know that, right?
Is it? Oh.
No. This is the flag that represents a group of states that rebelled against the United States. It's the flag of traitors to the United States of America. The Republican Party was started fighting the Civil War to beat that flag. And that's the party that Donald and these people are supposed to represent. Even though I've been here for 20 years and I have a British passport and I don't know if it's possible to explain that sense of shock as an American to see maybe because we're programmed, maybe because we're indoctrinated, but I still, do you feel that patriotic about anything, Steve, being British? No, I know you don't, because one of the biggest holidays that you have here in the UK is celebrating this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Fox.
It's a nice night, yeah.
You celebrate the fact it's the biggest fireworks night of the year, celebrating the fact that somebody 200 or 300 odd years ago tried to blow up your government.
Yeah. It's a nice night, isn't it? You get like chestnuts.
We've got people marching in the Capitol, and I was in tears. And let's celebrate this every November. Seems like a good idea.
Hey, just don't judge us until like next January. Like, oh, should we go and have a nice night out because of what happened last year?
No. Hopefully we can go out next year, but that's a different thing altogether. So where did this all start from, other than the rhetoric that Donald Trump has said since he came down that escalator 5 years ago? So on the day, normally when they're doing the votes, Trump had put a lot of pressure on Mike Pence, because ceremonially Mike Pence is the vice president, president of the Senate. I don't know why. It was back in the day when they wrote the Constitution. They had very little to do. There was no TikTok. So he was there reading out the votes of the winner. That's what he's meant to do. That's his constitutional duty. He can't change anything about it. Trump decides to have a rally to counter that. And he'd been pressurizing Mike Pence. He'd been pressurizing his fellow Republicans. And at the end of the rally, he was very specific. And this is what he was saying.
We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country.
So he had a speech a mile down from the Capitol where the White House is and said, we're going to go down there and we're going to stand up for our rights. And there are other people that spoke before him. Giuliani was there talking about combat. Donald Trump Jr. was there, possibly. His father wasn't sure. And basically said, we're going to march down there. And Trump even said in another part of the speech, I'm going to go with you.
Just
but didn't actually go.
Oh, sorry, I thought you teed me up for
that. All right. I thought I had possibly too. But actually what they did do is they went backstage, and we know that because John Jr. published this.
Just awesome patriots that are sick of the bullshit. So thank you all for that.
Yep. They all went backstage where they had some TVs and media screens, and Don Jr. and the rest of the family were watching the Patriots start to head down Pennsylvania Avenue, headed towards the Capitol. And we know the president was watching because Don Jr. showed us that as well. That went on much longer than I thought it did. Now notice how close Ivanka was to Donald, and Donald Jr.'s like, I'm over here, Dad, I'm over here. But there's that. Basically, you can see it. He was watching a TV screen, so he was basically there, like Nero watching Rome burn, playing the fiddle. Only Donald Trump can't play the fiddle because of his bone spurs. It's just the whole thing is sad. It's sad for the country. It's a personal tragedy for Donald Jr., which we can see in this bit.
That is
How desperate is he for the love of his father? And we know that Donald Trump, his father, is messed up because of his father issues. And now we got Don Jr. to look forward to with his daddy issues. I mean, look at there's a still of that clip there. Look at that. Look at that smiling. Look, there's Dad. Like, I'm next to Dad. Dad. Oh, Ivanka's there next to Dad.
It is a great smile, isn't it? That kind of.
Look at. Can you see that Dad's there? Can you see that he's there? He really does love me. He really does. So basically, before we play this final clip, it was after it was done, and we've seen the videos of the Capitol being taken over. They eventually cleared the Capitol. They were able to bring all of the Congress people back to finish the certification of the vote. There were some Republicans who actually were going to stretch the day out and try and pretend like they could change it. They were chastened, some of them. Ted Cruz is still a dick. And finally, at 3:30 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the people's work was done. And this was the
votes
moment.
for President of the United States are as follows. Joseph R. Biden, Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes. The announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected President and Vice President of the United States, each for the term beginning on the 20th day of January, 2021.
There it is.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, it's over. And fuck you, you loser.
You're just upset, aren't you? You're upset. That's not what this is all about. Did you get upset yesterday about it?
About the fact that he's lost?
No, you're not. Yeah, you're not upset about that. About the fact that your nation crumbled a little bit.
It's a little bit crumbled.
Oh,
Not the kind of apple crumble you want to have at Thanksgiving. Although you'd have apple pie, because it's American, unless you're a communist.
Yeah.
Then you have apple crumble.
We don't know what
It
America
was
will be.
genuinely an upsetting day. So I'm hoping that you'll be, you won't make any jokes about it, Steve, because that would really, I mean, I can talk about it because it's my country, but hopefully you would never do that.
We'll see what comes up next. But let's do some messages. We got some messages going on.
It was intense. I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep.
Did you not sleep? Oh dear. Mark says hello. Looks like his zero key is stuck a bit. I don't know. I don't get that. But if let us know if what have we done.
Someone pressing zero?
The irony is, didn't the Confederates lose? Well, Mark, depends how long. Depends how long this game is. Maybe they're playing the long game because it's not over yet.
Maybe Trump isn't a Russian plant. He's Jefferson Davis's plant. Jefferson Davis was president of the Confederacy, in case you didn't know that.
Did not know that. No, I mean
Did you
Dukes
know
of
that?
Hazzard. Really, literally, that's all I get.
You don't study American history?
I watched Hamilton.
That's it? Yeah. Let's see. Britt has said, actually, our last Guy Fawkes effigy was a Trump doll.
Nice.
I would endorse that, Britt, but it's actually technically illegal for me to say I would commit violence against the President of the United States, even when that president does violence against the United States.
I mean, you're not really getting into this whole being British thing. You've got the passport now. We're allowed to burn effigies of people. If we see other people in foreign countries burning effigies and flags and whatnot, disgraceful. We do it. It's a bit of fun, isn't it, down in Lewis? Something they like to do in East Sussex.
Yeah, it's what they're like down there on the south coast. It's the south in both places, South America.
And
South
also
Coast here.
East Sussex is, that's the witch central, the Scientology central, and the burning of effigy central of the UK. No, we should do a special. We should go, when we're allowed out, we should go and record a special in East Sussex, because we're going to need some content at some point.
That'll be part of the tour.
Mark says, if you play that bit of Trump Senior, watching them and walking away, listen to the music, the last words you hear are voices in your head.
Yeah, the music was really pumped up because the people were still milling around after the fascist rally.
That's it. Yeah.
And that is the music of the 2021 fascists.
It was strange to see him not dancing. If you're going to pump out some sort of 80s disco, it's a shame that he's not doing this, which is his usual.
Well, usually he does a bit of that.
That's what it. Oh, that one it is. Ah, that's what it is.
That's one of his moves.
It is an appropriate dance move.
And it's
for the
one of his
YMCA.
dance moves.
Yeah. The rotten apple doesn't fall far from the tree, says Howard Strand. I think that might be the username on there. Who's watching us on Periscope? How? We didn't think we managed to get that.
We can't
working.
find ourselves on it. Did we pop up? So, maybe we did. I don't know. Yeah, I just can't tell. Oh well, we're glad you're enjoying it on Periscope. We just don't know where you are.
Yeah.
So if you can tell us, that'd be great. Let's see.
You can keep the comments coming through. Let's have a look. So wherever you're watching them, do you think that Trump has finally realised that once his term is over, he'll be a wanted man? I mean, he'll probably like that, though. He'll say, I'm the most wanted. This is what's been strange about all this. That, in a sense, he's managed to do the impossible. He's managed to lose an election and never have to say that he lost an election, which is the closest thing for a win. That's all he's ever needed.
Yeah. But I think being labeled a traitor and seditious, which is a word that's being used quite a bit in the U.S. right now, isn't exactly how he wanted to go down.
He won't care as long as he doesn't have to say he lost. The art of the deal is rubbish. It's all about the art of pretending that you're a winner. For him, loser is the biggest insult. This is why he's so fat. Because imagine the doctor saying, like, I'm afraid, Mr. President, you need to lose some weight. I will never lose. I didn't lose. I gained weight. So I'm the fattest. He would love all that stuff. So, look.
Do you know,
yeah, go on.
Do you know, though, before we move on, his theory on exercise is that you shouldn't do it because the body only has a limited amount of energy for its entire life.
Right. Okay. Now, that makes perfect sense if you don't know what energy is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You've just got one set of energy, and if you expend it, then you're done.
Yeah. Okay.
Science.
Martin says, one question, who could be a worse choice than Trump? Tough challenge. Oh, we'll keep thinking about that. Keep the messages coming through. We'll get stuck into more of them. But look, Eric, I want to be serious now. That I know you wanted to do a serious bit in the show. You wanted to be very sincere because your home nation was really upset. It's going through one of the hardest things. And look, I would say, cheer up because Donald Trump said that he has committed to an orderly transition. It's a bit late for that, isn't it? It feels like that's like me committing to a dry January now. It's a bit late. After what I got up to last night, you do not want to know. At any point, all those people saying like, after last night, that's it, I am off it. He's effectively hung over from having way too much of a fascist party. I will not do that again. He'll do another one next week, you will see. But we did, and also Donald Trump was banned from Twitter and Facebook for a while.
Yep.
Which actually meant that Donald Trump's MySpace got pretty salty. It's the only place that he was left. Like, Tom is my best friend. He's been with me all the time. So Tom from MySpace is definitely getting a pardon. But he was
Don
weird.
Jr. now is jealous of Tom.
Yeah, he's behind him on the list. It was weird. I got home last night and saw some of the coverage on TV. Seeing the world burn was very strange. There are some people who really were rebels. Do you know what I mean? They really were flipping anarchists. They were not sticking to rules. It's a bit of a dark picture, but this is some of them inside. Look at the guy on the left who's not inside the little ropes.
I did notice that last night.
That guy. No one's messing with him. He knows how to do anarchy. And it was very serious. There were people protesting because they foolishly and erroneously believed that they were on the right side of history. And you can tell that this was important to them. This was serious because they were nicking lecterns. Hey! Let's get one of these. When I said go and make a stand, not take a stand. Let's just look at that. Look at the look on his face.
So happy.
That is terrible. For some reason, that bothers me more than any of the other pictures because that's like some absolute dick in Pompeii being like, I'm going to take some of this basalt with me. No, this is not the time to be just Hey, when the looting starts, we all know what your main man says. You showed us a picture of this guy. I want to bring him up again. Is he dressed as a Viking?
Yeah, I don't know quite what he is. He's there was a right-wing pundit who tried to turn him into saying he was Antifa and tried to place him at an Antifa rally, but then there were so many pictures of him at Trump rallies, and there's a picture of him without the whole costume on meeting Giuliani, where they both had their hands where you could see them, and I don't know what he's meant to be. It might be a buffalo.
Yeah, maybe. But it's got a very Viking vibe to it. Here's what I don't get, though, because, look, I don't know American history. I've watched Hamilton, but I'm fairly sure that if you're so proud of America that you shout USA, USA as you trash the Capitol building, the Vikings aren't American. And so that's geography. And then there's the other thing about the Vikings, very much earlier than when America was a thing. So you've got time and you've got distance wrong. But other than that, lovely costume. I love it. You're through to the next round. And this brings me to a serious point. Look, I could sit here mocking, saying, like, you see the kind of violence we saw yesterday really makes me think that you Americans should not be allowed guns or nuclear weapons. It's time to sit this one out. It's time to realise that if you vote in a guy like that, you should... It's like handing your car keys over because you know what you like after you've had a few. You should not trust yourself with nuclear weapons. But I don't want to be too harsh. As an American, I work with you and I realise I should cut you more slack. You're a young country. I mean, like, you've been around for a handful of hundreds of years, but we've been around for thousands, and we should give you the space to do the things that we went through. You know, medieval periods, Dark Ages, the Enlightenment. Let's hope you get there. At the moment, I've looked at what I saw yesterday, and I think as a civilization, you are slightly post-Bronze Age.
Thanks.
Because you're clearly still in tribes that like to fight each other, but you can use tools. So, you know, you'll get there. Hang in there, Eric. That's what I say to you.
Thought you were being sincere for a little bit.
I thought you would. I
thought you were going to actually...
I was embarrassed for you. I think we all were. Like, the rest of the world was watching it, being like, it's time to climb down about this superiority. It was an absolute mess. And what do you expect? Yep. Like, you know, again, not your fault, it's not your side, but Donald Trump, if you're watching, if your politics is about making angry people angry, where did you think it was going to end up?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't think he cared. Because it's successful. You know, making angry people angry is working, and it's the... Do you know what? I think we talked about these kind of issues before, but for me, it's proof that whenever anyone's ever said to me, "Oh, but what about feelings, Steve?" That's what happens when you let feelings take over. When feelings are ranked higher than fact, I feel like the election couldn't be right. That so much of the argument on the Donald Trump side of it is like, really, are you telling me that the other guy got more votes? Doesn't feel right. Yeah, that's why we invented counting. Oh,
yeah, but you can't go to Donald Trump and talk about counting. He's gone bankrupt 6 times.
Yeah, okay.
His numbers aren't going to be his strength.
He's an anti-mathser.
He's an anti-mathser. Yeah, probably.
Speaking of money, if you don't like it, chuck some in our pot, because we very much would appreciate some to keep us afloat during all this.
And we do have a new goal as well. Let me find our goal here.
While you find that, I'll do some of the comments.
Do some comments.
Brit says, orderly transition. Was he talking about his next poo? I love how you managed to get us back down to the level we normally perform at. You're right. We've not done any poo jokes for a long while.
Nope.
Let's have a look. It should have been a simple one. Off he went with the trumpety Trump. But oh no, Trump had to open the whole trunk of crazy. Jaw hits ground. It's full on, isn't it? Full on.
You have been fact-checked by Thomas. Vikings did manage to get to America, apparently.
Did they?
Which is true.
But
yes,
not during the it being called America.
It was ABBA.
Oh.
They were Swedish, weren't they?
Yep.
See, I did a musical thing. But no, the Vikings did make it to North America in some bits, and then, but they left. So, because they knew they'd find oil eventually.
Yeah.
So they stayed in Norway.
I mean, they left, and now it looks like they made the right decision, because things are pretty messy over there.
Yeah. So our new target, if you do decide to go to Ko-fi, if you'd like to get us a drink, is basically we're saving up for Lockdown 4 in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're just putting a little money aside through Lockdown 3. So we're paying forward now to Lockdown 4. So if you'd like to contribute to that, because we're not furloughed, we're just here watching our country burn.
Mark says, people who'd be a worse president than Trump. Alex Jones from InfoWars. What was it? I will eat your ass. Bill Cosby, controversial.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
I think you might be right. I think you might have found someone who's worse than Donald Trump. And then Wayun from DS9. Now, I've not watched enough Deep Space Nine to know who we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Not for a while. Not enough episode. I don't know. I can't say. Martin has come in with ABBA. Trump had his Waterloo. I get that. That's nice. One of their songs.
Yeah.
Nice. See, I know about ABBA.
America will bypass the Bronze Age entirely because America never finishes third.
Because there's a third Bronze Age?
Don't get that one. I feel like I should.
What about more?
More. A callback to the last episode.
It's a Tuesday's episode. So you got to watch that to get that joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, Britt. Once again, I apologize for that.
Bronze. Finished third. I get it now.
Bronze medals.
Model. Yeah,
Mark
a medal.
Explains. Yeah.
It's been a long week.
More. See? We can all miss a joke every now and then.
Yeah. I get that one.
Chris said, I feel Kenny G is really good. Don't fact check that. Thanks, Chris. Thanks.
If you're enjoying the show in any way, some money in the pot would be very much appreciated. It keeps this little project afloat.
And you can also subscribe to the channel if you want as well. That's an easy thing to do, or just tell people about the show and watch our past episodes. Ooh, I just lost my earpiece, so hold on.
Oh, quick, say something rude about him. Americans are a nightmare. Look at him. He looks like the guy from the film Up. It's like is he back in?
I can lip read, you know.
He looks like the guy from the film Up. Oh, we were just waiting for you.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's here. Just gotta.
You back?
Sort of. It's not quite right.
Why not subscribe to this kind of action?
Oh God, I didn't sleep well last night.
On to the next problem, then. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be serious again, and I apologize for that. But it's difficult after your country is attacked by itself. In America, it was definitely self-harm yesterday. So this is a similar problem, I suppose. What do you do? I feel emotional. If you're naked and you're in a tree and there are alligators around.
You got me now.
It's a common problem. It's a bit unique. It's a bit of both. Depends on where you are in the world, and it's real. It's a real problem for some people, as we can see here.
Naked fugitive who'd been living on snails has been found clinging to the branches of mangroves in a waterway infested with crocodiles.
There's so many things in that one headline. You got naked, eating snails, mango tree, he's naked, there's crocodiles. I mean, I kind of get the naked and the mango thing. Because have you ever gone into a mango when it's really ripe and juicy?
Mangrove.
Isn't it mango? Mango grove. They're mango trees.
All right, we'll go with it. Yeah, so he was clinging onto a mango. He's in the mango tree. Yeah.
The isn't that what? That's a grove of mangoes.
A mangrove. No, I think it's one of those places that's submerged in water. It's the first area where you get transition between fish and amphibians.
It's where they grow.
Okay, it's where mangoes grow. Mango grove. Mango grove grow.
He's eating snails. He's tripping his balls, clearly. So this guy was a fugitive, and he was found naked in the tree, eating snails, hiding from the crocs. But this guy is one of the people that saved him.
We heard this faint like, help, help. And then we said to me mate, I'm like, is that guy saying help?
I can't do the accent.
Is he saying mangrove?
He's like, I can't even try to do the accent. That naked guy in a tree.
I don't know if that's South Park or a jazz musician.
He sounds like a South Park character. He's just like, why do you help? I mean,
just put some scat at the end of it. Guy in a tree.
I mean, of course he's hanging in the tree. He's hiding from the crocs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no surprises there. But the guy needs help, obviously. Oh, does that guy need help? Yeah, he fucking does. Jesus Christ. From you idiot. Of course, there's a question. It wasn't really clear why he was naked. So.
It hasn't yet explained how he lost his clothes.
He didn't explain how he's lost his clothes. The guy's been rescued. He's been taken to the police custody, and he still hasn't explained how he lost his clothes. Wouldn't that be one of the first questions? Followed by, what are you doing fucking mangoes in a tree that doesn't have any mangoes in it? Maybe he'd sold his clothes to get the mangoes.
Yeah.
So he was rescued and brought to a hospital. They basically, it's just a weird story. I think it's the only kind of thing. It's just sort of something that I thought could lighten the mood a little bit. Make us feel a little bit better about everything that's happened. And they have identified the man. Here he is.
I can see the snail trail.
Yep.
Wow. Mark says, before helping him, did the fisherman and the naked fugitive compare rods? Nice. I just that first clip of the guy, it was this
we
one.
We heard this faint like,
for his name to come up. Faust. A Faustian pact indeed. Imagine that.
It's worth looking up the whole story because the other guy that rescued him was just as fucking funny. I mean, this is backwater Australia. So,
but if you were in a mangrove, then why would you be wearing clothes? I mean, what are you going to put in your pockets? The snails? They're not going to go anywhere fast.
No, you put them somewhere else.
Okay.
Because you're eating them.
Yep. I've never really done any of those things in that story. I think I ate snails once when I was in France. I was fully clothed.
Were you in a tree?
I wasn't in a tree. I was in a restaurant. But to be fair, because it was a French restaurant, the guy looked at me with a level of disgust that would have befit being naked in a tree.
Did you talk like that guy? Oh, you need help.
Like a jazz musician from the South Park.
I did have an accent planned, but it just didn't come out. I've been emotionally traumatized. It's a difficult day for me.
Understandable.
It was Eric Trump's birthday yesterday.
Yeah, it's difficult for lots of people. He's a Capricorn. Beautiful work. Let's have a look. Britt says, look at Trump's skin. Let's get the message things up here. He was going for visual sign they have achieved Bronze Age. Freaky day, glow orange age is reality. And mangoes into a bar. Boom, boom.
Nice.
People are sending better jokes than we're coming up with.
Yeah, more. Mark says, before helping him out, the fisherman and the naked fugitive. Oh, you read that one. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. Jack said, a mangrove is a shrub or small tree that grows in coastal saline or brackish water.
Nice.
Thank you. Someone else is doing our fact checking, Mark.
Whereas brackish is just like it's a place where the salt water and the fresh water meet, so you kind of get half salinity. It's a good place for oysters.
Isn't that? I thought brackish was in Wiltshire.
Of course you did. Moni says hello. The best contribution we've had so far. Makes the most sense out of any of them. And I think we're up to date with... we've not even checked Twitter, so you can still get in touch. Twitter's on the screen as well.
If it's working. And also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that's there. And you can also go support our goal for Lockdown 4. The best of the lockdowns is yet to come.
Yeah. Lockdown 4. We still know what you did last summer. Nothing. Right, I've got another story as well. Again, I realised... there's been a lot of bad stuff. I mean, look, fair play to your home nation. Normally, when we do these shows, sometimes, like, the shit hits the fan of COVID so much that we think all we're going to get to talk about in the news is coronavirus. And there's America every time. As soon as we start to have that worry, they get a little bit of civil unrest. Twice you've done it now. Thanks, America. What?
Do you want to take away the little thing?
Yeah, I was going to start the thing, yeah. This is the actual story. That was just my prelude to the story.
Oh, right.
The actual story is about something that should cheer you up, because it's a news story that I saw, and I don't know why it brought a smile to my face. The story of a cheeky man who hid a samosa between his buttocks to smuggle it into jail. This is in the West Midlands, and even though it's an American news source, it's such a great story that it's about the West Midlands police. They arrested a guy. Took him to jail, and they noticed that between his buttocks he had secreted samosa. The little pointy triangle ones. Now, the reason that he'd popped the samosa between his non-facial cheeks is, according to him, he was worried that there wouldn't be any good food in the police station. I've not been arrested, to be fair, so no. I don't know how good police food is. And I'm not even going to suggest for a second that samosa wasn't better. I'm sure that samosa was better than police food before you crammed it up your cleft. But when you fished it out, come on, who would eat food that they've secreted up there? You know, the nature. You would never know if they were sprinkles or not. No one ever wants to get themselves having this conversation. Do they do chocolate chip samosas? Oh, no one ever wants to have to think that. It's absolutely disgraceful. Would you ever smuggle in your own food between the cheeks?
I don't think it's a bad idea, because normally, because I've had kids, right? And so you'll see your kids pick stuff up, off the ground and eat it, and so you'll be like, "Do you know where that's been?" And in this case, he did. Right. Also, I prefer my samosas warm.
Ooh, 35 degrees. Ping! Wowzers. Yeah, I mean,
good idea.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe he was changing the way that the food should be done. Maybe he thought this samosa would be nice between two buns. I don't know. But it's the story that's cheered me up. And actually, now I'm starting to think this could be a good delivery system, because at the moment, lockdown, there was a piece of research that came out today that actually looked at lockdown 1. And it said even though people weren't allowed to go out to the shops like they used to, but were allowed to leave the house for exercising, according to a survey, we exercised less than we used to do, we drank more, and we ate more takeaways. Which actually, now that we're embarking on lockdown 3, knowing that a lockdown is synonymous with sitting on your backside and eating takeaways, nice, I'm happy with it. But not if my backside is the place where the takeaway is.
Yeah.
So it does mean that, yeah, he's changed his delivery system. He's now brought out his own thing. You can get the app. It's Did Somebody Say My Cheeks? A delightful mental image.
It's nice.
And there we go.
You didn't want to do a little sketch with you and the samosa in your butt cheeks?
I mean, I'm amazed I didn't. It's been a busy day.
Yeah.
Didn't really have time to film a lot. I could
You've
have
never done any talking butt cheeks.
That's true. I could have done an interview with the butt cheeks.
You know, a little mouth.
The thing is, you're right. That is the kind of stuff I do. I mean, I'm a grown man, and for some reason, I'm spending,
What's the difference? It's series 3. We're making new changes. There's going to be new changes coming. We got some plans. Got some big plans.
Is it? You're right. If I had more time, I probably would have done an interview where I talked to an arsehole.
Yeah.
There's a joke.
Gotta
say, there's a joke right there, but I'm not doing it. I'm too nice. Mark says, are you going to start a takeaway service for samosas? Call it Deliverpoo. That's the other.
That is good. Well done. Mark's calling me up on what I was thinking of Bracknell in Berkshire.
Yeah, not Brackish.
Yep, I got it wrong. The Wiltshire. I was thinking Wiltshire instead of
Wiltshire.
Brackshire.
Yeah, Brackshire.
I'm feeling more American today.
I don't know why. If ever there's a day in your life that you should have gone round doing, hello, Mary Poppins, cool, blimey, it's a ride piece super and no mistaking, I would have done it today if I were you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like it. Justin Trudeau sent a tweet, from Canada saying, oh, we stand with you, smug fuck. Just rubbing it in.
Wow. Brit Sevs gives a whole new, gives the term packed lunch a nasty taste. Right in there. Chris says, fresh from the moist crevice keeps it warm, I suppose. So there's some agreement.
True. That's true. Yeah, can't deny that.
Samosa didn't. I don't know how to pronounce that to make it work.
Samosa didn't.
There you go. It's that jazz pianist again. Samosa didn't.
More. So,
I think
we're caught up.
Yeah.
Let me just take a quick look at Twitter to see if Donald Trump is back. If he's been unfrozen. It's less fun claiming I used to be blocked by him if he's deleted.
Yeah, not long until he's gone. They're going to get rid of him so quick.
He's still locked. Still a locked account.
Do you think they've just given him a dummy phone?
Probably.
So he's got no idea that he's blocked.
I guess, yeah, that's all they got to do is just play some repeats on telly. Just loop it around. Fox and Friends praising him from like 4 years ago, and he won't know the difference.
They could just play election night from 4 years ago. He'd stop going on about him like, I knew we totally won. Me and Tom, we're like best mates. And then it would all go away.
Well, the last few days, I can't remember if I said this the other day, they've been, because they say daily what the president is doing. And so every day they've just been saying the president's schedule is he's doing many meetings and many calls.
Many meetings and many calls.
Yeah, because he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Very busy doing the business. Got all the business and the meetings and the calls. And the business calls and meetings about calls. Yeah. What are the phone calls about? Meetings.
There have been a lot of KFC deliveries to the White House in the last 24 hours.
Well, I've sent him a samosa as well, so he can tuck into that.
With chocolate sprinkles.
Good Lord. Well, I think we've covered all the range of news there.
We've covered all the news. Yeah. Yes, we have. So we are back when?
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday night, 9:00. And as always, you can support us on there. But the other way you can support us, which is even better, or just as good, is to tell people about the show, subscribe to the channel, watch our old clips, follow us on Twitter, just validate us because we're lonely and sad. And don't do it for just Steve and I. Do it for America.
No, for America. Ugh, not right now. Awkward.
All right, fine.
Yeah, and there's still the book. You can get that on Amazon. Because the other news today that I was going to cover is that Elon Musk is now the world's richest man.
Yes, he is.
So let's help Jeff Bezos out. Come on, my bald brethren, it's time to help him out, earn some more money. For every copy of my book lasted another year despite a pandemic that you buy, most of it goes to Jeff Bezos. And I'm not even kidding. So go and get it.
There you go. And if you want to hear more about what happened yesterday, I'm my podcast American Exchange, which is on all the podcasty platforms. I interview Brian Karem, who's a White House reporter who was actually there at Trump's speech yesterday, and he was at the White House yesterday as well. And he works for Playboy, so
wow,
he's living the dream. And so that'll drop probably sometime tomorrow.
Lovely. Get yourself subscribed.
Yes.
Let's have a look. Is Jeff a 16th Welsh too? Says Chris. There's lovely. 16th Welsh is my status. It makes me exotic. I think we're all done. We're all up to date.
We're up to date. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. We will see you next Tuesday. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Till then, bye.
Bye.